All right, Khayree, go ahead.
Well, Khayree Bey. I am a middle school health PE teacher that I kind of stole that position, to be honest. I'm actually a core teacher, K to 6. Um, I subbed for several years in the district. I was a parent in the district first. I think they kind of noticed the connection that I had with the community. Also, being a parent, I have a child that graduated from Colonial, went to Temple, and I have one that's a sophomore there now who's dying to go back to school. He just got his driver's license, so he's chopping at the bit sitting here.
Yeah.
But I got awarded a Colonial Teacher of the Year this year. I'm the district's Teacher of the Year. Thank you. And actually, for what I do here, I kind of introduced mindfulness and yoga to middle school kids, and it kind of spread it around the district there. Now I kind of train all first and second year teachers in mindfulness and how to introduce SEL, trauma informed, equity
That's awesome.
based into their classrooms. And that's kind of how I was introduced to Terry. Also was through James Walsh. I went and trained with Holistic Life about 3 years ago. I think I explained before, I teach in a school that is predominantly Latino and African American. They really don't see themselves in self-care. They really don't see themselves in mindfulness and yoga. So I'm kind of a anomaly. Many kids, when I first started doing it, had two questions. They jokingly called me the anti-vax soccer mom because they're the only people that actually do yoga. And so that was a ongoing joke for years. I'm actually going to share with you a quick video to kind of show you what I've done in my school. And like I said, when it comes to yoga and mindfulness, I wasn't really introduced the traditional way. My family was very big in the civil rights movement. So it's always been a calling of mine was to, I really delved into the anti-racist movement, and things as such. And that's kind of also what I combined into my mindfulness, because I know a lot of my kids were dealing with trauma that wasn't just, it was generational trauma. And since they really didn't know how to cope with the emotions that they were dealing with, I kind of figured that I would kind of be that one. So one of the first things I did was created like this thing, it's called a staff, because I wanted my kids to be mindfulness ninjas. Because like I said, they did not, when they thought of yoga and mindfulness, they thought of little white women that were like gymnasts who could like do every pose on the planet, or it was some yogi that was floating over the Himalayan mountains, and they just didn't see themselves. So when I first started doing it, a lot of my kids they come from some tough neighborhoods. So their first thing was, when I came in with yoga, they were like, Mr. Bey, it's no problem, but we didn't know you were gay. And I was like, well, first off, I'm glad that you're tolerant. I was like, but I am not gay, and you don't have to be gay to be a male to do yoga. I was like, you don't have to be white. You don't have to be an Indian. I was like, these things are for everyone. And it's not a religion, because that was the next thing that I heard from some of my parents were, well, we're this and we don't do that voodoo type stuff. And I'm going, and I figured that I was going to run into these things. So when I first created my room, which I'll show you, can I share my screen? Am I a host?
Everybody can share
Yes.
the screen. Yeah.
Excellent. There we go. So let me share with you kind of what my room looks like. Yes, I got plenty of time here. So I'm going to, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
I feel like, all right. I feel like I was just doing this a couple hours ago with my kids. They were like, Mr. Bey, you muted yourself. We can't hear you. All right. So like I said, this is going to be a quick view of kind of what my classroom looks like. I kind of filled the walls with people of all shades, all sizes, all ages. A lot of our kids live in broken homes. Some live in cars and hotels. Many are living with their parents. They're living with grandparents, guardians, aunts, uncles, neighbors. So I wanted to make sure that they seen themselves in this practice. So I'll play this for you real quick and we'll continue. So this is my actual classroom.
Old man, old broom, daily ritual, sweep the whole room, shake the mats, dust the corners, feng shui, all things in order.
That's our planetarium where I do the body scans and all.
In the temple, morning yoga, proper posture, sun salutation, realign the chakras, deep stretching, deep breaths, release tension, release stress, stay on purpose, maintain balance. Nobody perfect, the path is the practice. Good habits, zen focus, remain present in each moment. The yoga mat on the floor. It's more than that. It's a metaphor, a way of life amongst shores. Soldiers' orders, an inner war, a living chant, a growing plant. The craft work of the Buddha's hands, the overcoming of circumstance, the ever-flowing eternal dance. A strong spirit, a free thought, an open mind, a loving heart. Approach others with compassion, a simple truth. Wise actions, stay humble, continue learning. It's not the destination, it's the journey. Walk in courage, stay grounded. See all sides, be well-rounded. The yoga mat on the floor, it's more than that. It's a metaphor, don't need a lot, just enough. Do more with less, get better results. Reassess, readjust, embrace change, cause things must. It's universal in all circles and resonates in all cultures. We have vice, we have virtue, yin and yang, and vice versa. The seed that grows is the one you nurture. Each posture needs solid structure. The physical, the spiritual, the maintenance, the ritual, the meditation, the power mantra, the affirmation in the subconscious, the mastery of emotion, like a dolphin at one with the ocean. Ride the waves and let them pass. Don't cling, be detached. The yoga mat on the floor. It's more than that. It's a metaphor.
All right.
Was that you?
Yes.
I thought so. That's great.
That is
Great.
that is my 6th, 7th, and 8th grade class. That was my I think that was my first year that I actually implemented the mindfulness. Healthy Living was the name of my class in Mind Body Fit Club, because we got a grant a couple years ago, and we have a fitness center along with our planetarium, and we lost a principal because of some craziness, and I kind of was like, you know what? I kind of just took over. I just started doing things and asked for forgiveness later.
Right.
That first year, they actually gave me my worst write-up ever. I had a vice principal that did not understand SEL and put me on a plan. The next year, I was nominated Teacher of the Year.
Oh my.
So there you go. I went from him not understanding it all to 2 years later, I ended up being the district teacher of the year for what I implemented in there. So actually, me and him are actually pretty good friends now, because I'm an old jarhead, so I didn't really back down on it. I was like, all right, you're gonna write me up, this, that, and the third. I was like, we'll see when this is over, and here we are now. So I got a couple more minutes here so that we can actually get to the video of it, but I want to share with you some information that I actually give out to the students and teachers when I do this. Since this is a self-care session here, I want to show you some of the things that I use for self-care. I know you guys are all familiar kind of with belly breathing. No one here's so one of the things that my wife actually made for me is like a 5 to 10 pound little weight that when I'm doing my abdominal breathing on my back, kind of put it on right below your sternum right there, on right where your diaphragm is, kind of practice deep breathing. I also use that to extend the stretches where when you're doing your other little poses, kind of giving you a little bit of resistance there. I think I showed you the mats, and again, this is just a little rock mat. It's a actual shoe mat that you sit next to your door when you come in to kind of keep your boots from dirtying up the house. And you get the little rocks in there. And like I said, my kids are so limited to their little blocks at times, never go anywhere. Take their shoes off, take their socks off, and wiggle their feet in those rocks there, kind of giving them some other sense of release. I also use, now I'm not really big on advertising other people's products, but if you ever use these like melt type things, they're a little bit softer than the traditional ones that you get out of like Walmart and all. I like these a little bit better, allow you to kind of ease out some of the aches and pains. And one last thing, this is another version of the rock mat. Can I see it on camera? This is again just a little holder here, and get you some of the river rocks and dig your feet right on into those things and kind of hits your acupuncture type spots. One of the other, now when I'm with my kids, just to kind of keep this lively, and I know that Cosm really caters to a lot of teachers, so I'm kind of changing what I usually do but giving some tips here. Tai Chi is another thing that I really started earlier on. Like I said, I kind of started off in the Afrocentric community, and that's kind of where I was introduced to yoga and mindfulness. And I kind of started it, really got into it once I got to Okinawa, Japan, when I was in the Marine Corps. From there, kind of came home. Like I said, I was young then, 19 years old, really didn't realize the benefits that I was getting from it, but I knew I liked how I felt. And as years went on, I kind of learned outside of someone's, outside of a yoga studio and all, and didn't really get into a yoga studio until about maybe 10 years ago. And I had been doing yoga since I was probably about 25. I'm 50 this year. And some of the different things that I had learned was I wanted to bring I wanted my students to see themselves in the practice. So when I went and became a yogi, I wanted to get an African form of yoga, and that's what made me search out Yasir Rahotep. And I'll actually send out an email and give you a lot of the resources of some of the things that I have. Yasir is he's about 65, 70 years old. He's been doing yoga since the late 60s, early 70s. He's from Chicago. This guy is about 6'6", 6'7". I couldn't believe that he was a yoga instructor. When I first met him, I'm like, God, I was blown away how tall this guy was. But he and another gentleman in the 70s were very big into Kemetic studies, which is the ancient name of Egypt. And they were also really big into yoga. They started to notice that a lot of the hieroglyphs had different types of poses in them, and really started researching and came up with the Kemetic yoga skills techniques. And that's what I seeked out. I actually went up to Harlem, New York for 3 months on the weekends. And that's where I was certified with him about 2-3 years ago. One of my first introductions to yoga was these little books here. And like I said, I'm going to share these with you. And this is kind of what I went off of for years. And that's what made me realize that yoga just wasn't the poses. There's so much more to yoga than just the physical poses that you see that has kind of become mainstream. One of the other things that is a staple of Kemetic yoga are the 7 Hermetic principles. It's called the Kabbalion, and I'll actually put that in there. There's so many people that have written about this, but these were the first ones that introduced me to it. And 2 other great books in that series is the Hindu Practical Water Cure, because I think we all need to stay hydrated, and gives you a very good lesson on how drinking water benefits you. And the other one was The Science of Breath. by these same series here. And that's kind of where I realized how important your breath is. So just to get us started here, let's do a quick mindful moment before we start our yoga session here. One of the big things about Kemetic Yoga is there's several staples. And the first one is the 4-part breath. Now, just like most yogis, it's very important with the inhale, the hold, the exhale, and holding again. So it's really not much different than most other yoga styles. The other staple is we do follow the 7 Hermetic principles. The 7 Hermetic principles within within Kemetic Yoga is mind. All is mind, everything is energy, the universe is mental. Correspondence, as above, so below. Vibrations, nothing is stationary, everything vibrates. Next is polarity, everything is double, everything has its opposites, extremes meet. The next is rhythm, that's the ebb and flow, action and reaction, advance and recoil. The next one is cause and effect, nothing happens by chance, everything happens according to the law of nature. And lastly, generation, as everything manifests and everything is masculine and feminine. We all carry those traits. Lastly, is whenever you're doing the Kemetic Yoga, try to make the tongue connection. Now, I know some of us have read some of these different books. I know a couple of yogis who have actually cut their tongue so that they could actually put their tongue a little bit further back and hit these different points. I would never be that extreme, but I mean, to each their own. So whenever you're doing the Kemetic Yoga, try to keep your tongue right behind your top front teeth or a little bit further back. The philosophy is it keeps the energy flowing as you are breathing and progressing through your different poses. All right, so let's do a little bit of chair yoga real quick just to get our bodies a little bit loose here. So I'm gonna have you sit up straight in your chair, kind of on your sit bones, aligning your head, neck, and spine. From here, I want you to raise your shoulders up to your ears. Inhale and exhale your shoulders back down. Now in Kemetic Yoga, we always like to inhale our arms up to 3/4 of the way, and then exhale your palms together. Now, just like I do with my kids, bring your hands down to heart center. And we're going to go through the 3 planes. So we're going to inhale and go to the left. And exhale back to the center. Inhale, exhale to the right. Inhale back to the center. As we inhale, let's have our arms energy rise. And inhale, exhale to the left. Inhale back forward to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to the center, bringing our arms back to heart center one more time. And this time we're going to place our hands on our knees. We're going to kind of do a quick little cat-cow. I always make sure that we do the 3 planes just to kind of get your spine and your neck going. So inhale, putting your head back. And exhale, kind of arching your back forward, making sure you keep your shoulders kind of low there. Inhale, back up. Now with your hands in a comfortable position, your feet planted on the floor, making sure again our head, neck, and spine are aligned. I invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. If not, stare at something on the floor or in front of you that's not moving without lowering your gaze. At the sound of the bell, we'll begin. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time with me. Inhale. Exhale. So go back to breathing on your own, kind of focusing on your breath, using it as an anchor. And just to go through a quick lesson of how to breathe properly here, I meant to do this at the beginning. Whenever you inhale, first off, we're going to breathe through our nose and not our mouth if you can. Now, some of us have allergies. I know it's that flu season. Some of us may be congested or runny noses. So make sure that you do what feels best for you. But if you can, breathe through your nose, in and out of your nose. Next, I want you to raise your shoulders up on your next inhalation. And on the exhale, lower your shoulders back down. It's one of the areas that we keep our tension. Some of us keep our tension in our foreheads and jaw. So I want you to kind of, if you're crinkling your head, I know we have a lot going on this week, kind of loosen your brow. And on your next inhalation, I want you to soften your jaw, slightly open your mouth, allow your tongue to drop from the roof of your mouth. Take a deep inhalation and sigh it on out. And just like I tell my students, you might hear someone out in the hallway, especially being virtual, maybe a dog, a cat, a child, sibling, husband or wife. Kind of acknowledge the distraction and using your breath as an anchor, go back to focusing on your breath. In my class, I teach the children the check-in circle. And the first check-in after you've kind of anchored yourself with your breathing is we check our emotions. And when we check our emotions, we are non-judgmental. Once we've identified and labeled our emotions, we move to our thoughts. Are our thoughts of something in the past or the future? And if so, acknowledge them without judgment. And go back to focusing on your breath, using it as an anchor. And the next place we check in is with our body. We check our 5 senses. And then from there, do a quick body scan. Are your emotions or your thoughts causing you any physical sensations? And if so, don't worry about changing them. Just acknowledge them, label them, and go back to focusing on your breathing. Before we end, I want you to think of someone that made you grateful this week, or someone that is grateful for you. Take in how that makes you feel. I'm going to ring the bell 3 times. And on the 3rd bell, I want you to blink your eyes 3 times, bringing yourself back to this moment. If you haven't already, blink your eyes 3 times, bring yourself back to the moment. And take one last deep abdominal breath with me, pushing your belly out on the inhalation and pushing your belly button to your spine on the exhalation. Inhale. Hold it. And sigh it out. Thank you for doing this mindful moment with me. You are appreciated. All right. Well, now that we kind of settled ourselves, let me share my screen one more time here. I think we're just, all right, perfect time. I'm glad I was kind of rushing through this because both of my boys are home and now the PlayStation and the computer's on and my wife is virtual now too. So our Wi-Fi, I live on an island, as you'll see, my backyard. You can actually like fish in my backyard. We have the worst, we don't have normal cable because they don't run anything to the island. So let me, oh, hold on. Let me share my screen again. And we'll get to the Kemetic Yoga practice. All right. All right, I think I got it set. There we go. All right, so this is, we're gonna do the Kemetic sun salutation. It's a little bit different than the traditional. And we also are gonna do the Mayat Ka. Mayat Ka in the Kemetic Egyptian pantheon is the sign of spirit. Actually, one of my favorite poses within Kemetic Yoga because it kind of goes along with my name. My name is Khayree Bey, and Ka is kind of took that from the Kemetic tradition of Ka, the spirit of breath, and Ray meaning the light. And very powerful. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope to maybe do a few more where we can really, where I can have some space and we can really go through some of the other poses and all. So bear with me. We will definitely do this again. All right, let me expand my screen and and don't mind the little mini ambulance that drives by halfway through the video. There's a walking trail on the other side of the canal, and a little miniature ambulance actually drives around sometimes looking for people. So it actually went by right when we were doing it. And exhale your palms back. No. And being yoga instructor, you know. And here we go. Exhale, putting your arms in front of your thighs and raising your hands up to heart center. Exhale, raise your arms above your head. Placing your index fingers and your thumbs together and arching your back, expanding your back, releasing your shoulders. Hands come up. Exhale your arms back to heart center. Inhale, palms forward, down touching the mat. Palms to the mat. Fingertips to the mat. Tilting your pelvis up to the sky. Exhale, grab your ankles, chest to thigh. If you need to, bend your knees. Keep breathing. Inhale to flat back. Now put your hands into a pyramid and place them on the mat. Inhale and ground your hands, stepping your left foot back into a lunge, adjusting your front leg so that your knee is behind your ankle, and look forward. Release your knee to the mat. Point your left foot, putting your insteps on the mat. On your next exhalation, scoop your arms under your thighs, inhaling your arms up 3/4 of the way, and exhale your palms together. Bringing your arms down, left hand over your right, onto your right knee. Inhale, expand your chest and lean forward, feeling the stretch. Inhale, bringing your head back and releasing your neck and back. Inhale, back up. Folding forward as you exhale. Ground your hands. Back up on your toe. Into a lunge. Looking forward. Exhale your right leg into a downward dog, also known in Kemetic Yoga, the pyramid pose. Continue to breathe, keeping your tongue connection. Continue to breathe, massaging your legs out, stepping a little bit. Continue to breathe. On your next inhalation, up on your toes, bringing your knees down to tabletop. Laying your insteps down again as you exhale and sit back onto your heels. Moving into the Khayree, which is also known as the Sphinx pose. Look forward. Expand your collarbone. Open your heart space and look up. Pushing your arms forward, hands grounded, and diving your head into the Cobra position. Inhale and release your head back on the exhalation. Inhale, back to tabletop, getting your toes back under you, and back up to the pyramid pose, also known in traditional yoga as the downward dog. Keep breathing. Rise back to your toes. Exhale your knees back to the ground. Pointing your toes and back into your insteps. Exhale back on your heels. Extend your arms forward into child's pose. This is a restorative pose, as most of you know. Continuing the tongue connection and breathing deeply. On your next inhalation, Inhale, bringing your nose and body close to the mat, up into the cobra pose. Exhale and release your head back. Inhale, back to tabletop. Bring your toes under and back to the pyramid pose. Adjust your feet. Keep breathing, keeping your tongue connection. As you plant your fingertips into the ground, bring your left foot back forward into lunge, looking forward, and step your right foot forward, bringing your feet together with your fingertips on the mat. Inhale and exhale your back of your hands to the mat. Inhale your fingertips to the mat. Grab your ankles and exhale, keeping your elbows out, chest to thigh. Remember, you can bend your knees as much as you need. Keep breathing. Put your hands together, forming the pyramid, and exhaling to the mat. Bring your palms together. Put a flat back and rise back to a stance, nice and tall. And exhale your palms to heart center. Inhale, your energy rises as your hands go to the sky. Index finger and thumbs meet, separating and leaning back as you exhale. Expand your chest, bringing your shoulder blades together. On your next inhalation, rising your arms back up, placing your palms back together. And on your exhale, bringing your hands back to heart center. Tuck your hips, soften your knees, and exhale your palms back in front of your waist. And shake it out. We're going to step back to the back of the mat to set up. Put your toes together, feet grounded at the 3 points. Putting your arms to the side, creating Kemetic palms. And now make Kemetic fists. Inhale your right leg up, extend your leg forward, placing your right foot in front of you, putting your left foot at a 45-degree angle. Gather yourself. Your hands in Kemetic palms, straight down. Rotate your palms outwards. And as your energy rises, bring your arms to 3/4 of the way. And exhale your palms together. Inhale and look up. Exhale and let your back and head fall back. Inhale, your head forward, hinging at the hip. Exhale, bringing your fingertips to the mat, flat back, soften your knees. Inhale, rising back up with a flat back. Put the back of your hands together. Exhale your palms out, creating an energy field to shoulder length, shoulder height rather. Rotate to your left, arms forward, bending at the elbow, forming Ka. This is the life force of Kemet. Inhale your head center. Exhale your head over your right shoulder. Inhale
your head center. Exhale, your head to your left. Inhale, center. And exhale, back out of the twist. Inhale. And exhale, your palms to touch at heart center. Inhale as you bring your right foot up, and exhale, hinging at the hips and bringing your fingertips to your toe. Your left leg is slightly bent. Inhale, palms back to heart center. Rise with a flat back up, releasing your foot back down. As your energy rises, I want you to inhale, your hands to the sky, look up, and then exhale, your head back. Inhale, back forward. Putting the backs of your hands together, exhale, your arms down to shoulder height, hinging at the hip. I want you to lean forward with a flat back, put your torso parallel to the ground. Belly your hands to the left as you put your right hand behind your right leg and look up to your left hand. Exhale and release the propeller. With a flat back, raise back up. Exhale your arms to 90-degree angles. This is the cow position again. Inhale and exhale your palms together. Inhale your hands to the sky. Look up and exhale as you release your head back. Inhale your head forward. Backs of your hands together. And exhale your arms down. And then completely down as you exhale. Now putting your hands back into Kemetic fists, like you're holding a butterfly, bending the knee, shifting your weight to your right foot, bringing your left foot up, extended, placing it in front of you, adjusting yourself, putting your right foot to a 45-degree angle, hands back into Kemetic palms, rotating from the shoulder, raise your energy up 3/4 of the way, and exhale your palms together. As you look up, inhale, and exhale your head back. Inhale your head forward. Exhale, flat back. Hinging at the hip, placing your fingertips on the mat. Soften your knees. With that flat back, bring yourself back up, rising the energy up. Back of your hands together again. And exhale your energy to shoulder blades. Inhale and twist to your right. Palms facing forward. Elbows bent at a 90-degree angle. This is Ka again. Inhale your head forward. Exhale your head over your left shoulder. Inhale your head back to center. Exhale over your right shoulder. Inhale your head forward. Exhale out of the twist. Inhale. Exhale your palms back to heart center. Flexing your left foot. Exhale, bringing your fingertips down to your big toe. Bending your right knee. Breathe. Inhale your arms back to heart center and rise back up with a flat back. As your energy rises above your head, look up. Exhale your head back. Inhale your head forward. Bringing the back of your palms together, back to your hands. Exhale your energy back to shoulder height with a flat back, hinge at your hip. Torso is parallel with the ground. Propel your arms so that your left hand is on the inside of your left foot, and then gaze up at your right hand. Release the propeller. Inhale, hinging at the hip, back, up. Exhale your arms into 90-degree angle one more time for Ka. Exhale your arms and hands back to heart center. Inhale your palms to the sky. Gaze up and exhale your head back. Inhale your head forward with the back of your hands together. Exhale your arms down, all the way down. Make your hands into Kemetic fists, shifting the weight to your left leg. Step forward, bringing your big toe on your right to your big toe on the left. Take a deep breath, rounding your feet, and shake it on out. I appreciate you participating in this introductory lesson of Kemetic Yoga. Thank you for participating, Cosmo family.
All right, let's see. All right.
Thank you. Wow, that was
Let me
great.
grab my chair. All right. Well, that was an introduction to. Hold on, my camera back? Oh yeah. I have a couple tabs open here. All right. This is my students deal with. They're like, you have a million things open, Mr. Bey. All right. That is an introduction to Kemetic Yoga there. For the sun salutation, that's actually just the one-legged side. You'd actually double that up and do the other leg also there. But each sequence, one of the big differences between traditional yoga and Kemetic yoga is extremely slow. And I think it's for my kids, some kids love it. The other kids, you know what I mean, they want to move a little bit faster. And for them, I do a different version. But some of our kids deal with weight issues. Some of our kids spend a lot of time in front of the TV and don't want to move. So the Kemetic Yoga thing for me was, it kind of fit perfectly, because if I wanted to, I could, I coach 3 sports every year for my school. I'm the wrestling coach, I'm the field hockey coach, and the softball coach. So it's something that I can get some of the kids that aren't as active to kind of participate in. And then the other ones, I just take them in the back and kind of do some of the Holistic Life has a series of poses they call the 5 5 it's called the 5 something. I can't remember offhand, but that one is a little bit, it's a lot faster, it's a lot funner. And you know, I'm kind of dealing with middle school kids, so it's like it's like herding kittens. So they're not always the easiest ones to do yoga or mindfulness with. But like I said, it's about buying in and making it fun for them. And like I said, representation really means something to my kids. And when they see themselves, they're a little bit more in tune to try it. And like I said, I have a big buy-in in the community, so I don't get a lot of kick